Hello and welcome to Bible Study with Renee. My name is Renee, and I'm so thankful that you guys are still here with me. And yeah, I'm going to give you a little update on what's been kind of going on. Again, thank you so much for staying with me and going into a new year. Um, but just to let you know, I do suffer from seasonal depression. And unfortunately, it stems from the grief of losing my mom, which was in 2008. But if you've ever grieved someone, you know that grief doesn't just go away. You know, they say time heals. It doesn't. It doesn't. Um, some seasons, so when I say seasonal depression, um, she passed away November 29th, 2008. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all that is when you either have a good year or a bad year. Okay. This year was not a very good year for me. It was a very hard year for me. And I couldn't, I just couldn't. And so I took a pause from doing these Bible studies, but I'm back and I just have to continue to pray for strength to get through them. But my birthday is November 11th. I love my birthday. And the grief was so overwhelming on my birthday. I'm about to cry. That I actually passed out. And, I got checked out. Everything, you know, biologically was fine. But mentally, grief had just overcome me that day. You see people faint at funerals or, even weddings, because when you have an explosion of feelings, you pass out. And unfortunately for me, it was grief. And I think that's one thing we don't talk a lot about is grief is a sneaky little sucker, you know? It it'll pop up when you least expect it and when you least want it to. I kind of scared my whole family on my birthday, and that's not what I wanted to do. Um, but you, you know yourself. I knew that day I was not okay, but I thought I could push through, you know. Um, but I just couldn't. I just couldn't. And so I decided to take the rest of the year off from doing the Bible studies just to kind of because I knew it was going to be hard couple months if I'm that grief stricken on my birthday. Um, and Thanksgiving hadn't even happened. Her day of passing hadn't happened. Christmas hadn't happened. Um, so I knew it was going to be a hard rest of the year. Thanksgiving is especially hard. And I thought I was doing so good. I don't really do Thanksgiving um, because that was the only time everybody would come over to our house. Thanksgiving was always at our house. Um, Christmas we would rotate, between my mom and her brothers. But Thanksgiving was always at our house. And then she passes right after, around Thanksgiving time. And so I just never wanted to celebrate Thanksgiving ever again. That was just something that I couldn't do. But this year I was like, I'm gonna make a turkey. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. I thought I was mentally okay, and I wasn't. I wasn't obviously, but I still went through with the cooking and being, speaking to my family, being thankful, doing that whole thing because we do it as a day of thankfulness. What are we thankful for? Um, and so I still did all that. So in my mind, when I did pass out, I thought, I thought I was going to be okay this year, but I didn't. I wasn't. And so that's why I said I'm just going to take the rest of the year and just, you know, ground myself and just be mentally better, mentally, emotionally, spiritually better. And I wanted to continue with the Bible studies, but I just couldn't. I just couldn't. Um, but now I'm back. Um, I'm ready for this new year. I'm ready for this new study. I'm so excited about it. But I do think that we need to pay attention to ourselves. We know what our body feels like when it's grieving. Um, and grief doesn't go away. I think that's one thing we need to understand is that grief is always around. And it's better to acknowledge it and deal with it than sweep it under the rug. And I have a great husband that he understands that this can come at any time for any reason. I could just be sitting watching a movie and he's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I miss my mom." And the movie has nothing to do with any memory of her. It just, like I said, it's a very sneaky feeling. And you never know when or where that feeling of grief is ever going to pop up. And I think too many times we're told, "Oh, you'll get over it. Oh, you'll be okay. Oh, it just takes time." It it never goes away. For me, it never goes away. Um, there's always going to be a hole in my life, you know, due to my mom not being here. I'm very thankful. Today's December 31st. It's my dad's 76th birthday. I'm very thankful for him being here still. I'm very thankful that he lives with us. So I can keep an eye on him every day, right? But, that hole where my mom lived in my heart, it's never going to be filled. It's still going to be a hole. And I think too many people feel like, "Oh, it's been 5 years, you should be over it," or, "Oh, I don't think about it." And that's fine. If you don't and then you're able to overcome it, that's fine. As for me, um, it took me about 10 years to go to the cemetery. Um, but now we go on a regular basis and we spend a good hour or two out there, music, food, just talking. But everybody's grief journey is different. And you shouldn't look at someone's journey, like look down on how they're dealing with grief, um, just because it's different. But, you know, like I said, I could just be watching a movie, I could be grading papers, and the feeling of grief just comes over me. And so that is what happened. That is why I stopped when I did. And I just wanted to give y'all an update. But I'm back. I already have the first month done. And I hope you go into 2026 with blessings and blessings and blessings. Until tomorrow, be blessed.